Hi everyone, Flavia here and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be showing you and playing with the surprise behind door 20 of Spellbinders 2024 Crafty Advent Calendar. As I mentioned in my previous videos, even though this is an Advent calendar, the contents of this calendar are not Christmas themed. However, that does not mean we cannot use these supplies to make seasonal note cards, which is why in this video I will be using today's surprise to make a Christmas themed note card. Today's surprise is a 3 layers stencil set. Notice here that at the bottom left corner of each layer there is a number, and that is to indicate the order we should follow. Also notice that there is a small circle on each corner of each stencil layer, and that is so we can temporarily mark the cardstock with a pencil to make it easier to line up each stencil layer with the cardstock and the previously stenciled image. I will begin by stenciling the top left corner of this panel that measures 5.5 by 4.25 inches. These 2 yellow pieces are post-it pages that I am using to protect the rest of my panel from any ink stains. For the first layer, I will apply a very heavy amount of ink by Simon Says stamp in the color Cherry. After that, I will shift this stencil down, making sure to line up the pencil marks on my cardstock with these 2 small circles on each top corner of the stencil, and later I will shift the stencil layers to the right side so I can cover this entire panel. To stencil this second layer, I will use the same color of ink, however this time I will apply a lighter amount. I will do this to the top and bottom left side of this panel before moving on to the third layer using Simon Says stamp ink pad in the color field. By the way, this white panel that I have on my desk is just a piece of paper packaging that I am recycling and using to protect my media mat so I won't have to clean it up later. And this adorable teal color rubber mat that I am using to hold my ink pads in place is by Simon Says stamp, and I love having it around since there are many uses for this thing, such as washing up my blending brushes, protecting my work surface from hot tools, not to mention I can even use it as a coaster for my water bottle and sometimes maybe a glass of wine as I craft. Once I am all done stenciling the 3 layers on the top and bottom left side of this panel, I will stencil over this small section on the right side that is plain. To do so, this time I will line up these 2 holes on the left side of the stencil with these 2 pencil markings on the cardstock close to the center of this panel. Since the process is exactly the same, we will skip all of that. After stenciling and erasing those pencil marks, I will trim off this panel using a paper trimmer so it is 5.25 by 4 inches. Then I will glue this panel to the front of a white note card. For the sentiment, I will use a hot foiled sentiment that reads Sending Joy that I already had ready to go. To hot foil this sentiment, I used a piece of golden foil and Spellbinders Sending Joy Sentiments press plate and die set. Since I love die cutting, I usually cut out more than what I need when making a note card so I can have leftovers for future projects, and inside this storage container are all of my Christmas themed die cuts. So now I will play around with some of these pieces and temporarily position them over my panel so I can figure out what I like best, and once I know it, I will use the Bearly Art glue to glue each one of these pieces in place. In the end, I decided to go with some green leaves, a large Christmas ornament, a large candy cane, and a Christmas present. All of these pieces were cut out with metal plates included in the Spellbinders Christmas Christmas Wonder die set, which by the way is one of my favorites. I also have a drawer full of die cut balls, and I will pick one now to decorate the flap of a craft collar envelope that I purchased from Amazon. Here is a closer look at the final note card, and I hope you enjoyed this video. To add some sparkle to this note card, I went ahead and added some flat back red rhinestones around my die cut pieces, and I really like how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care and happy crafting!